let's jump right into it. So, me and you, I had met you in high school, but in high school we wasn't really as close as we are now.
Right.
So, are you able to talk about how our friendship has evolved, particularly after high school? Like, what do you think have brought us closer? Because don't get me wrong. Like in high school, it was cool. What up, Don? What up, Kiyana? Type of thing. But the way that we are now, I consider you like one of my best friends now.
Back then, my girl.
Back then, we was just cool. Like we was acquaintances, and like we had homeroom together. So, what do you think brought us together?
I want to say definitely our surroundings now, like with Lonnie and Lenora, that's our girls. Getting together when we all first would hang out, I realized we had a lot more in common than I figured. Like I was like, oh my God, like Dawn's my girl. Like we have a lot in common.
Right.
Honestly, I just feel like it was the right timing, if that makes sense. Like we were in different spots in high school. I feel like we could have been close in high school. I just feel like our surroundings, like who were around at the time, like I was on the dance team, you had other friends, like I don't know. I feel like it was the right timing now when we all met each other. We are on the right path. Sorry, I'm getting nervous. We're on the same road of path right now. Like just trying to get closer to God and just growing up and, we relate.
Right. I definitely agree with that, especially like the different path. In high school, I feel like, because me coming from the background I did, the charter school, all my charter people out there, we came from the offie school, y'all. So we didn't come from Kelly and teachers like the rest of them did. So
and you went
I feel
act
like
for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that is true. Another offie school, but it's okay.
I wanted to go there.
Really?
Yes, I did, but then I heard, like, I've always wanted to be on the dance team at NFA, so I was just like, I'm going to go there, but I've always wanted to go to ACT.
No, it's not a bad school. It's just a very long day. Very long day. Like, you're getting into class at, like, 8 o'clock, then you're not leaving till, like, 5, and then since I lived in Norwich at the time, I had to get off one bus to get on another bus.
Jesus.
And I'm not getting home till, like, 6:30. And then if the clocks go back, does it go back? It's darker out earlier, so it's like, damn, I'm getting home, it's dark outside, like it's 6 o'clock, I still got homework I gotta do. Like it was a lot. But I definitely agree with what you had said about the path part, because I feel like, since you knew all these kids, because you grew up with them already, that was like your group, those were like your people. And I felt like me, like, coming onto the scene, I didn't really know those people like that. I knew of them, and then plus we had, like, mutual friends in mind. So I was like, like, those aren't really my people, but, like, I'm still trying to be, like, make them my people. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel like now, since we're growing up and we look at things differently, I feel like we value things differently. It's one of the things that has definitely brought us closer together, because, in high school, we think differently in high school than we do now. Because in high school, we're just kids. We want to do like the hood rat shit and be in everybody's business. It's like now I don't really care for that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I can get down. Like I can have some fun. But it's not like I'm not trying to be messy no more. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like we grew out of that messiness. And like me watching you grow, I see that you also, not that you were messy, but I see that you moved away from the messiness.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
How to make a change.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So like, friendships are a powerful source of growth and support. How do you think our friendship has influenced your journey?
You're good.
Friendships can be a powerful source of growth and support. How has our friendship influenced your journey towards becoming your true self and breaking barriers?
It's definitely your character. One thing I'm going to say is being around you, like Dom, you have always been, like, you have time, whatever, but you have always been mature. Like, the way you hold, you carry yourself, I love that. And I'm big on who you surround yourself with. It's, like, how you're going to kind of turn out.
Right.
So, like, I've always admired, like, how you put yourself first, and like you're a go-getter. Like that's one thing I've always loved about you. And like that's what I want to be. Like it's how I want to be. So definitely surround myself around you. I feel like you've helped me grow, with just you always put me on my spot when I need to be,
That's what you need. Yes. You need people like that.
Yes. I feel like you see a lot more in me than myself, if that makes sense. Like you know how to push me to like my fullest potential, if that makes sense. Like,
Right.
I don't know, you're just the friend that everyone needs. Like, I feel like if you need Dominique in your life, definitely. And I didn't know that before, but like now I do. Like, being around you definitely gives me peace. And like, you kind of show me that like there's more to life than what. Like, I feel like sometimes my mind is really closed-minded, and you kind of show me always like there's always so much far I can go.
Right.
So definitely, like, that has helped me grow.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. I love that you said that. Like, being friends with me brings you peace. Because anybody that knows me, they know, like, I'm not one for the mess. Like, I'm going to tell you about yourself. I may not tell you about yourself in like a nasty or mean way, because I feel like that's not how you should get your point across. But I'm very like straightforward. Like, why are you being dumb?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we need more of that. We need more straightforward people in our life.
Definitely.
Like, we don't need people that are gonna walk on eggshells or beat around the bush, because that does nothing for us at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, with our friendship, I feel like you have influenced me to also look at things from a different perspective. You feel what I'm saying? Like with you, I feel, because I'm not saying I'm not chill or very lax, because I can be. But being around you, I noticed it's like, you know, all that other shit don't matter. Like, you gotta live.
Girl.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like I've learned from you. Like, all that extra stuff, it don't matter. You gotta live. And then one thing I also appreciate, you know, being your friend, is that she with whatever. Kiyana with whatever. If I say, Kiyana, we in the car, we gotta go. Like, let's go. I got the bat in my trunk. Like, stop playing.
Nobody gotta know. No,
like, you feel what I'm saying? And, you know, you need more people in your life like that. And that's why I say, you know, even though, because I've noticed, like, the people that you were friends with in high school, you know, you guys are no longer close. But there's still, like, that, I don't think acquaintanceship is a word.
There's still, like, it's all love.
There you go.
Like, I'm big on that, too. Like, it's all love. Definitely. Like, you know, we all grow up.
Right.
We all see things differently. You know, we're on different paths now. But, like, at least with me, it's all love. Like, I cared about you before. So, like, why am I going to hate on you? Like, I want to see everybody do good.
Right.
At the end of the day, you know?
And that's good. That's how it should be. There should be, like, no ill feelings, no ill intent. You feel what unless you do some, like, really, like, I don't know, like, you got to do some, like, bottom of the barrel shit to me for me to not fuck with you. Like, you really got to, like, do some wild shit. Excuse me. I'm sorry. But
even with that, like, I'm big on, like, I shouldn't be, but I hold grudges. But I've always learned that there's a lesson behind everything. So maybe after my 3 years of holding a grudge, like, after that, I was like, you know, it's all love. Like, I learned something from it. People in your life to either teach you something, or in your life to help you. You know, people come and go.
Right.
There's no reason to stress about it. It is what it is.
Right. That's definitely a fact. And, like, what I've definitely learned is, like, some people are just here for a season. As cliche as that sounds, y'all, it's very true. Some people are only here for a season. Some people are only here to teach us certain things and then just move on.
Right.
And then we run into people that they're meant to stay. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel as you, like, we've been building this friendship. Like, you're one of those that are meant to stay, especially because back then I didn't think you were one of my people. But now that we're growing and we're evolving, I think I said revolving. I meant to say evolving. You know, it's a whole completely different aspect of things. Like, I see things completely different. You went from somebody, oh yeah, you know, we're just cool. Like, I see her in the halls, like, she's in my homeroom. Fun fact, we had homeroom together our senior year.
We did. It was lit. When I made it on time.
I used to, where's Kiyana
When I made it on time.
Exactly. Then Kiyana coming in, I'm here.
Hey.
Like, okay, at least she made it. That's what matters. So, the next thing I want to ask you is, how do you balance your personality? Because you have a very bubbly personality, but you also deal with anxiety. So I want to know how that has affected you in your interactions with others, or like other things that you do.
As in, like, now or like before? Or can I talk about both?
You can do both.
Okay. Well, before, it was a pain. Like, it still kind of is, but before, I didn't know how to deal with it. I've always heard about, like, anxiety, like, when I was younger, like, people having it and stuff. I didn't take it as serious. My mom's foreign, so she don't believe in those things, like, you know. So I never took it as serious how, like, deep it can get. And then around the age, probably I'd say like 19 to 21, just going through something. COVID played a big part in it. Being in the house all the time, not really having anyone to talk to. And then we had to finally go back outside, act like everything normal.
Right.
I just couldn't do it. I remember our first day back at Three Rivers. I sat in the class and we were like doing icebreakers, and I literally ran out and called my therapist and was just like, I cannot do this. Like, I was shaking. It was like, I was like, I didn't even know what was going on with me. It was bad. That's why I'm on online schooling now. But in that moment, I just didn't really know how to deal with it. I didn't get it. I started to learn more about myself when I got diagnosed with ADHD around that time. I got a therapist. She started teaching me how to, like kind of deal with it. I started going back to church a lot, and I started learning, like, in church, they would say that, don't try to tell yourself, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't label yourself as in, like, I have anxiety, I have ADHD, because you're speaking it,
Right.
So I try to find a way. At first, I was taking a lot of pills for it. Like, they put me on Lexapro, they put me on Adderall. It was kind of a mix for my ADHD and like, for my anxiety. It would just ruin my mood swings, especially with birth control. It just wasn't working. But getting in the Bible a lot and, like, in the book,
Right.
I've learned that I didn't really have to depend on my pills. Like, it was more not finding the peace of God so then I can just get through the day. Started working on that, and now, I would say before, like, I wasn't really surrounding myself around people either, and that was also the issue. Like, I was in my head a lot.
Right.
My self-love, self-care wasn't really there. So, like, it was just a lot of more mental things I had to deal with and, like, overcome. And I have a little trouble with it now, but now I think of God first. If I'm in a situation where I'm just like, I'm getting nervous, I just can't seem to, get out of my head. I try to talk to the person around me, let them know. Like, now I'm more open about it. Like, hey, like, I deal with this and, like, I need help. Or, I'll just do a little praying. Usually after that, I get cool. Like, I calm down a little bit. And, I mean, I definitely learned how to deal with it better now than before. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that's definitely good. That's a step. And I definitely hear you about the, with your mom being foreign, that they don't, really believe in that stuff. I feel like it's also with Black people too, like, just not even with them being foreign, like, we don't believe in that stuff. Like, you need to talk to God about that stuff, type of thing. Like, you need to talk to God because that stuff isn't real. And it's just crazy because I also didn't even. Well, no, let me ask you this first before I say what I'm going to say. How would you define anxiety?
There's a lot of ways to define it. Especially now understanding, like, going through it myself, you can have different levels of anxiety. It's not just one thing. And it's not just like you feeling nervous or you can't breathe in a room. Like, it could literally just be, when you're eating, you just feel like you just can't eat around people. So you have to, like, you just don't eat. You just have to put it down. I would define it as nervousness. Trying to find the right words to say things. How would I define anxiety? Just not being secure in the position you're in, like, in your mental state and stuff. Like, I don't know. I can't think of it right now, but there's a lot of ways you can define it. You know what I mean?
Well, like, growing up, anxiety, depression, I always thought, like, those were things that were wrong with a person. You feel what I'm saying? Just because of, like, how they were, just because of how they were perceived and how people would talk about them. Like, because currently I am in therapy, and my therapist, she had gone over what anxiety is. I always said that I didn't have anxiety. Like, I don't have anxiety. Like, no, what is that? But she had explained to me, like, it's more than just like, oh my gosh, like, I can't type of thing.
Right.
And I didn't understand that because that's how I always perceived it to be. Because when people would tell me, oh my gosh, like, I'm having an anxiety attack, or when I've seen people having an anxiety attack, that's what it looked like to me. And that's why I define myself as I don't have anxiety. Like, that doesn't relate with me. Or just like even with depression, I don't have depression. And the fact that she said, well, anxiety can be more than just that.
Yeah.
it can be just like simply what you said, like you don't feel secure in the place that you are in. So I was like, okay, like that gave me a different perspective. And like that's one thing you have to learn. Everybody's anxiety is different.
It's different.
It all looks different. You could have somebody that's shaking in their boots before they're about to have a presentation.
I was just about to say something like yo.
Like they're shaking in their boots because they're about to give a presentation, and then you have somebody that has anxiety but they're dealing with it on the inside. It doesn't show on the outside. So I didn't know that. So I wanted to know, like, with your anxiety, like how does it affect you in your day to day?
I deal with it in different ways, like, because one thing I'm gonna say, you brought up a good point, like anxiety looking different. Back in high school and just even now, I didn't realize like I had test anxiety. So I wouldn't say I didn't have it back in high school, but I was more outgoing and like I was on the dance team. Like you probably see me now. If you try to put me in front of a camera, I'll get all scared and I'll probably run off stage. But before I was really more outgoing. Like I was a dancer. Like I just wasn't really afraid. I guess I was more confident
Right.
back then than now. But like I've always dealt with like once I knew it was a test, like I wouldn't freak out or nothing, but like I just put my head down. Like that was my problem in school. Like if I felt like I couldn't do it, like I just put my head down and I just be like, all right, I'm done. Like, Kiyana, why won't you do it? Like, no, I can't. And I didn't realize like silently, like I was just being silent about it. That's silent anxiety, like, and you don't even realize it.
Right.
Even sometimes now, like you see me, I go out, have fun, I party, but just because I'm partying doesn't mean I'm dealing with anxiety. Like sometimes in my head, I'm just like, oh, well, you know, I have to be that loud person just so I can like cure my anxiety sometimes.
Okay.
So I deal with that too. So like sometimes at work, like I'm the new girl at one of my jobs right now, and I keep myself busy to kind of, you know, deal with it. That's kind of what I do now. Like if I feel like it's approaching, I'll try to find something to do with my hands, or, you know, I'll try to find something to keep me occupied so it doesn't like kind of ruin my day. Or I'll like hide in the closet and I'll start praying. I literally will. No matter where I am, I'll hide in the closet and start praying.
Wow.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like so working in the serving industry, like say something goes wrong, like I mess up someone's pizza and I have like 10 tables and, you know, my managers are busy. I'll forget about it a little bit. I'll hide in the closet, like in those little food corners, and I'll literally be like, God, please help me. Like I'm shaking, please help me. Like I need your help right now. I need peace.
Right.
And it works. Listen, talk to God. It works. Like,
Hey.
got you.
She ain't telling a lie, y'all.
Nah, I'm telling you. Like,
Go ahead and find you that corner.
Yes.
You better talk to him.
Talk. Like, and that's the thing. Before I just wasn't talking. Like I wasn't speaking out loud. Like
Right.
I guess I wasn't trusting as much as I needed to. And now that I do, like it has helped me a lot. Like a lot. Like it was the time when my therapist would ask me like to do some certain things, and I would bring up to her and be like, Can we read the Bible? Can we go in there and look for verses? And
wow.
Some therapists is like they try not to get involved with that, just because I feel like in some jobs and like definitely like depending where your setting is, they can't bring up like religious things. It's just some jobs you just can't. And I remember telling her like, this is what makes me comfortable and this is kind of what I want to get into. And she was just like, oh, okay. And I feel like it was just something kind of new with her. And she tried it, and she told me she tried it with other patients too, and it has helped. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And I don't honestly think she was supposed to do that. Because like, you know, when you're a therapist, you have this whole, it's kind of like being a teacher. You have this whole requirement and book thing you need to get through. And like, you have your certain way of how you get someone through something. But she was willing to try it because I was like in my walk with God at that moment, you know. So she was just like, okay, let's do it. And it's had helped. And she's telling me it's helping other people. So definitely, yeah, get in your word. If you're feeling
wow, that's good.
Yeah.
The fact that you were able to bring that to her, and at first she didn't have that reception to it. But then like you had explained to her like, this is what's going to make me comfortable. This is what's going to help. And she was able to try it. That's good that she was receptive to it after, awesome. You know, you had that conversation with her. That's good. With you, to me, when I look at you or when I think of you, I think of how kind and how strong of a person you are. So I would like to know how have your past experiences, including you being touched as a child, have shaped your resilience and determination?
Definitely just me changing my mindset on taking control of my own life. It's not easy, but my past, you know, problems has definitely made me, like, now I had to learn how to sit with it.
Right.
Revisit it, sit with it, and deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of just had to change my mindset of how I thought a lot of things, you know. Before, I was just putting the blame on a lot of people, where it was just like, I can do that, but, like, what is that going to do for me? Like, what was that really doing for me at the end, you know? I was just finding someone to blame. Even though there was someone to blame, but whatever. I was just trying to find someone to blame, but honestly, I just changed my mindset where I was just like, now I'm realizing this is my life. A lot of things I went through, I told myself, like, that doesn't need to happen again, and I need to take control of it. And, you know, I just need to stand up and do what I got to do. So definitely just taking control. Like, I finally, like, I feel like I'm in a spot where, like, I'm just taking control of my life, and I'm making sure that, like, you taught me this, I'm making sure I have boundaries. Yes, we need boundaries in our life.
Them boundaries, girl, you need them.
I'm making sure I have boundaries, and just making sure that that I know that this is my life, and I can take control of what happens, and, you know, just that.
Well, no, that's good that you recognize that and you're coming into that, because the other day, y'all, I had a conversation with Kiyana. She had brought something up to me, and I had explained to her, like, you just need to set your boundaries, what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, and whoever you express those boundaries to, if they can't respect that, then they don't need to be in your life.
Right.
You don't need to be in a relationship with that person. You don't need to be friends with that person. You simply don't need to have no conversation, because if someone is willing to overstep your boundary, they don't respect you.
Right.
And the moment you overstep me, that just shows me everything that I need to know about you. Okay, I come to you with this information, what makes me comfortable, or what I'm not going to do, or what I'm not going to do, and you can't sit back and think about, like, if someone truly cares about you, they will sit back. They may not agree, but they'll sit back and they'll be like, okay, well, Kiyana said that she agrees. I mean, damn. Kiyana said, like, this is what she's not okay with. So either I'm going to respect what she said, or I'm going to go to her and be like, you know what? It's just not for me.
Right.
And the moment a person says that is just not for them, that's when you need to be like, all right, well, since you can't respect what I'm telling you, then I don't need to be involved with you.
You gotta go.
And that's what it is. And, you know, not for nothing, like, I had to learn that with myself with a few things. And, like, you know, what I had told you the other day, actually, I was groomed at the age of 19. So with that situation, I also had to take control over my life again. And I also had to set that boundary of what I was going to take and what I wasn't going to take anymore.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, when you are groomed at such a young age, I mean, there's people that still get groomed now and they're older. But, you know, at that age, I didn't really, you know, I didn't look at it that way until, like, I really started doing some digging, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, that happened. That happened too. Like, why is this a thing? Why do people feel comfortable to take advantage of others? You feel what I'm saying? And especially, like, in your case, you were a kid. You feel what I'm saying? And I mean, I wasn't young adult. Is that what I can call myself?
Yeah,
well, I was 19. I was still a teenager, so I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, the fact that people feel comfortable in coming in and doing whatever they feel like just because they can, that sucks.
It sucks. And they don't realize how it affects you, especially growing up being 7 or 19, growing up, like, they don't realize how that affects us in a person. Like, at least for myself, like, I had to grow up. I didn't realize why I didn't like being touched.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't realize why I didn't want to be in a relationship. I didn't realize why, you know, there was probably a moment in my life where, like, I was sexually active. Like, not, like, you know, like, I had so much thoughts of it so much, and I didn't realize, like, where is this all coming from? Like, they don't realize, like, how it messes us up mentally. Like, growing up, you know, I had boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, and I didn't realize, like, why I was always flinching, or why I was doing this, like, why, you know, I just didn't want certain things done to me and stuff.
Right.
And I just feel like at the young age I was, people don't realize how it messed me up. Like, I don't really know how you should naturally feel when it comes to sex. I just know what was done. Like, I don't know, honestly, I don't know what I like when it comes to sex. I don't know what I want done to me. I don't know what I should be doing. And it's just like, just because someone already kind of put a picture in my head of how something should be done.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like that too, like that gives me anxiety when it comes to like having a relationship partner and wanting to do stuff. Cause just like, I'm just like, oh, well, this is what I know. So this is how it should be done. And it's just like, no, like when you have sex with somebody, when you're making love, like there should be a connection. It should just be flowing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like that person took that away from me. So like, I just feel like no one should be touching nobody.
Right.
Nobody should be putting a hand on anybody. Like, should always ask. Like, it's just, I don't know. People are selfish.
No, it's definitely a fact. Mm-hmm. Like, you should be able to have a say-so in what is okay to you, what is okay to do to you, and what isn't okay. Right. And that's when those boundaries kick in. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And, like, with being so small that you were, or, like, if anybody has ever experienced that with being at a young age and going through that, and then this person tells you whatever they tell you, it's kind of like, okay, well, do I really have a choice? Mm-hmm. Is this really okay? Like, this person said this and that to me, so I kind of have to flow with it, and it honestly sucks. And, you know, like with me being the age that I was, I didn't even realize that I had those thoughts too. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes I feel like, well, you know, Dominique, you were 19 years old. Why didn't you, like, put your foot down immediately the moment you knew something wasn't okay? But part of me, I was like, it doesn't seem like it's not okay. Right. You feel what I'm saying? It was until, like, there was a point in time where something had happened. And I was like, okay, well, that isn't okay. And that's something I'm not going to stand for. Right. Because that's got to go. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. You're not about to do all that. What? No, like, you're not. You got the right one. Like, right. What?
Control now.
So that's really all that it really took. But
yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. And with adding to like what you just said, you said something about how you didn't know, like at the end of the day, they tell you something, and you know you don't really have you're thinking like, do I even have an option? Like, do I have a choice? Mm-hmm. So growing up, like I won't lie to you, I'm a big people's pleaser. Mm-hmm. I was an only child, so, like, my friends, I wanted everyone to like me. My friends are my siblings. Like, I'm a big people pleaser. You know, I just always wanted to make someone happy. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. Mm-hmm. So, like, coming with that situation happening, just even growing up now, like, I learned that I wasn't taking control at all because I just wanted to satisfy somebody. You know what I mean? I just felt like, you know, I have to do this in order for this person not to be mad at me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, growing up, that also affected me. And now I'm, like, learning, like, no, this is my life. Like, I have a choice. And, like, you know, your parents are supposed to tell you what to do. That's their job, too. But I feel like I didn't really have a say in some of the things that my mom decided for me. Love you, Mom. Love you, Mom. But in some cases, like, even then growing up, like, you know, I didn't really have a choice. Mm-hmm. So, like, it was always like, I have to do this so someone isn't disappointed in me. Right. You know what I mean? Where now I'm learning, like, you know, we're human. We're going to make mistakes. And at the end of the day, this is my life. Mm-hmm. These are my choices. You ain't gonna make me feel uncomfortable. Right. You're not gonna tell me what to do. Like, this is my decision. So, like, that goes with taking control. Like, finally realizing, like, you know, this doesn't have to happen to me. I don't have to be a people pleaser or nothing. Like you said, who wants to be around me is gonna be around me, and they're gonna understand. Like you said, with boundaries.
Right. That's good. I'm glad that you realized that. So, looking back on your journey, what are some key points or realizations do you think have contributed to your personal growth? Say that again one more time. So just like, what are some key points or realizations that you have gained, do you think contributed to your personal growth?
Definitely all my losses. Like, people don't really think this, but your losses, like, things that you don't get, or the things that you think that, like, oh, like, you know, the bad things that happen to you, those are wins. Like, to me, those are wins. Because at the end of the day, like, a lot of things I've been through and I sat with and I'm disappointing, whatever, like, I got to sit with it, learn from it, and it's helped me grow now. Right. Like, if I didn't go through all those things, I wouldn't be who I am right now. Like, you know, losing friendships, going through breakups, bad things happening, like me making wrong decisions. Like, I needed all that to learn and grow now. Right. And definitely, like, there's some things I wouldn't go through again, but I'm kind of glad I did. Because, like, now I have more knowledge. Like, now I know what not to do, what to do. Like, I feel like I'm a better person because of my losses.
Right.
Definitely. Like, those things help me grow now.
So, with that, do you think if you didn't have those, your life would be perfect?
No. Just because, like, no one's life is perfect.
Right.
And honestly, I just feel like if I didn't have those, like, I just feel like I wouldn't have learned a lot of things I know now. Like, I definitely needed those things to happen in order to be the person I am today.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay. Especially, like, some of those things, they can cause us to, like, go to a breaking point.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So being able to go through those things and continue to go on, that makes you a strong person. Because I definitely know some of the things that you have gone through. And I'm like, wow, like, you know, I would have, like, broken down. I mean, given my, like, I have my own things that I've been through. People said, like, I'm surprised you haven't broken down. But I'm like, you know.
Strong as hell. Donnie's strong as hell.
You know, like, I definitely agree with that. If I didn't go through certain things, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be as resilient as I am today.
You know what God said? His strongest soldiers go through the worst.
But I'm tired of being a strong soldier.
Girl, I hear you. I hear you. But those situations you went through, like, these situations you have went through, the next thing that's going to happen again, you're going to be able to deal with them even better.
Right.
Because, like, you already went through it. You know what I mean? The situation might be even worse. It might be a little different, but, like, those situations you went through before, they made you stronger for what's about to come.
Right.
At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like you said, yeah, I've had a breaking point. I've had a lot of breaking points where I felt like, you know, you don't want anyone to go through that. I wouldn't want to go through it. But because I did, and where I am now, I can help someone else.
Right.
Like, that's what I really think. Like, half the things we go through, I feel like we didn't just go through we didn't just go through it for ourselves. It's for someone else so we can help them. You know what I mean? And I'm big on that. Like, I'm big on how can I help somebody? Like, you know that about me. Like, I put people before myself all the time. So, like, honestly, I wish I didn't go through half the things I did, but I'm glad because there's someone else out here that's going through it and I get to help them.
Right.
We're all, like, young kids, even adults. You know, a lot of us hit breaking points at different points where we're just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Right.
And if us being around somebody who feels like that and knowing that we felt like that before, we'll be able to help them get through that. You know what I mean? Because we know how that felt. So it's just like, if we didn't go through that, how are we supposed to help other people?
Right.
Like, you know? So I try not to be selfish about it. Like, I'd be like, dang, God. I'd be like, why do I have to go through this? Like, this is tough. Like, I feel like I can't do it. But then I remember there's a reason why I'm going through it.
Right.
And, like, sometimes it sucks to say, but he wouldn't put you through something that you can't get through. He's going to help you regardless. You know what I mean? So when something happens, like, I am big on being dramatic first. And then I realize, like, I'm going to get through this. It is what it is. I'm going to get through this, you know? I try to tell myself that.
I think it's just a lot to take in, you know, especially like once you get to the point of I don't want to be here. That I don't want to be here, that can mean a bunch of different things. And once you get to that point, it's kind of like, damn, like, I'm at the lowest of the low. You feel what I'm saying? Or in my opinion, that's how I feel it is, because, you know, that's like a huge breaking point. Like, this is it. Like, whatever happens next kind of thing, that's what happens. I'm throwing my hands up and I'm walking out the door and that's it. You feel what I'm saying? And me personally, I hate that I've gotten to those points. I really do, just because when you get to that point, I feel like it's hard to pick yourself up off the floor. And I've always been one to pick it up and keep going. And sometimes I don't want to pick it up and keep going. I want to stay on that floor.
Right.
And just be on the floor for as long as I can be. But something that I'm learning is, you know, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's not over for you yet. Something is going to come out of your losses. Whatever you lost, you are going to come back, and there's going to be something for you at the end of the tunnel.
Definitely.
It's just hard because it's like, you know, I keep getting hit with all these punches and all these blows.
FaceTime video.
Jeez. He's going to have to wait. But, you know, I had lost my train of thought.
You're saying how it's hard to get yourself off the floor, like, get yourself back up.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. Especially, like, you know, given what I just went through. these last couple of months, I want to stay on the floor. Like, I don't want to get up. Like, I'm angry as hell. I'm angry as hell. I might not show it on the inside, but I might not show it on the outside, but on the inside, it's like I am on fire. Like, I am ready to just, that's it, walk away. But given, what other people tell me and what I tell myself, my fight is not over yet. I still have a lot that I need to do, and everything that I have lost, everything's going to come back to me. Yes. And, it's crazy that you say, there's other people out there with stories like ours. That's why I'm even doing this whole thing, because I feel like, just what you talked about, people are going to relate to that. Like, oh, wow, like I didn't know that happened to Kiyana. Somebody I know I can relate to. You feel what I'm saying? Or something like, oh, wow, I didn't know that happened to Dom. Like, I can relate to that. Mm-hmm. So that's why I even put this whole thing together, because I want people to feel like they have a safe space where they can listen. Or if they even want to come on and talk about what they've been through, I want to be able to be like, yeah, like this is a safe space where you can come and you can talk and you're not going to be judged about what you've been through. Right. Because we all have gone through either similar experiences or maybe even different experiences. And sometimes they just need to get it off their chest to have somebody to listen. Right. So the fact that you're able to tell your story, confidently and not let it be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not let it hold you down, not let it chain you down. Like, like the whole ball and chain metaphor. Right. You're not letting it hold you down. You just keep on going. I cannot talk today.
You're
like,
good, girl.
Holy
Me too.
crap.
Me too. No, you're good.
It's this tongue ring. She gotta go. So with that being said, what advice would you give to individuals who are navigating similar experiences or struggles?
Keep going. And try not to isolate yourself. That's definitely one thing. One thing I was going to say is, even especially what you've been going through, it's really easy to keep yourself closeted. It's really easy to tell yourself, like, I don't need nobody. You know what I mean? I'm going through it. Or not even that you don't need nobody, but, like, if you're like me, when you go through stuff, you kind of just want to be by yourself. And you kind of want to be like, this is my issue. I don't want to be a burden. I'm going to just handle it my own. But surrounding yourself around people, you need to do that. Like, we're not meant to be here by ourselves. That's why we got people. You know what I mean? That's one of the things I had to learn was, I kept telling myself, like, these are my issues. No one's going to understand. I need to handle it by myself. And I still do that. Like, I still do it. But I'm learning, like, God put these people around us for a reason. Like, if it wasn't for you for half of my things that I went through, like, I honestly wouldn't be here right now. Like there's times, me, I'm bad with being on my phone. I'm bad with texting back. And, like, the fact that you always constantly hit me up and stuff. And I know it's annoying because, like, sometimes I don't be on my phone. I'll be texting back. But even seeing that, like, oh, my God, Dom cares. Mm-hmm. She's here for me. Like, you need that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You need to be able to open up and talk to people. You need to be able to, people can't help you if you don't say anything. You know what I mean? And that's why we have the friends that we have around us, because they're here to be a shoulder to lean on. Right. So that's definitely, don't isolate yourself. Just when you're ready, but, like, don't isolate yourself. And just keep going and trust God. That's big. Like, we're young and, like, you always have your fallouts, but, like, make sure you remember, like, he's here for you no matter what. Like, that's something I have to keep reminding myself. Because, like, challenges are just going to keep coming. Right. You're going to keep having obstacles. But if you trust God, trust the people that you're around, surround yourself around good people, like, you're going to get through it. Just like you got through the last battle, you're going to get through the next. You got to keep reminding yourself that. Definitely, I would start with do big on self-care, self-love. Like, I'm still learning it too. Like, and it takes time. It's not just over day. Like, I realized, someone else could see a lot more in me, but I need to be able to see that in myself in order to be confident in myself, in order to love myself, and in order to just have a good mindset. Like, if you're always thinking negative, like, negative things are going to happen. You're going to have negative thoughts. Like, I have to teach myself to be positive in everything I do, and just how to change a bad situation to a good in my mind, just so I can keep going. And that's what an advice I would tell people to do. It's just, have a good mindset and keep going, and just know that things are going to get better.
Right.
Definitely.
I think I'm learning that myself too, because I notice, like, when I go through things, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. You're not going to tell me nothing. Like, I need to take this time to be alone. But I realize, sometimes, Dom, like, you don't have to fight the battle alone. Mm-hmm. Even though, like, your people, they might not understand where you're coming from. Especially, like, because I'm in the state of why. Like, right now, I'm in the state of asking why. And, you know, like, even just, like, with me venting, like, sometimes I get irritated because when I ask why, I know, like, none of my people have the answer as to why.
Yeah.
But it's just more of me saying, like, why did this happen to me? Like, why is this going on? But it's not for, you know, everybody to answer. It's just for you to listen to me. And, you know, with me being in therapy and stuff, my therapist, she said it's important to lean on your support system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may not understand, they may not be in your shoes, but they are here for you. And that is something that I definitely had to learn because, like, I'm messing up. I didn't start hanging out with my friends until recently. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm not even going to lie to you, with hanging out with everybody, it actually felt good. It felt good being around people again, because I wasn't around people for a minute because I needed, like, that space to breathe, because I was like, I'm not now, like, I'm not doing all that. But being around people, it has definitely helped me because, you know, sometimes you need that push.
Definitely.
And I definitely feel like, in my sense, I needed a push. And not for nothing, what you said about trusting God, because I've been very angry with him lately, and I haven't been wanting to lean on him. But I have been taking some time, and I realized, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, he's got my back too.
Definitely.
And maybe with all that has happened, you know, he's not going to leave me empty. He's not going to leave me high and dry. There's going to be something for me coming out of everything that just happened.
Definitely. He has a plan for you. You know it.
What's the plan? I'm waiting.
I'm waiting. Gonna find out, but you're going to find out. But
I'm waiting. I want answers.
Yes, that's a big thing too. I've been learning to find a verse, find a scripture that's going to help you get through the day. Even if you're not big on God or whatever, like a quote that's going to help you get through the day. Like, throughout my days, when something goes wrong, I think of Romans 8:18 always. I think of the pain that I'm feeling now does not compare to the joy that's going to come. That's a big scripture to me. Big. Just because, like, you know, I always felt like something's always happening. Like, I feel like I'm always in something. I'm always just like, dang, why is this happening? But every time I think of that scripture, I'm always just like, all right, there's joy on the other side of this. Like, there's sun on the other side of this rain. You know what I mean? So that's big. That's definitely something that's helped me. And I advise people to do.
Great.
Definitely.
Mine is Psalms 46:5. God is within her and she will not fall.
Yes.
That is like what I've been sticking to. It used to be Philippians 4:13. Through Christ I can do all things. That used to be my used to be my scripture. But no, I'm very, like, with the Psalms 46:5 because it's true.
It's true.
You know, God is within me and I will not fall. I just need to believe it.
Yes.
You know, I'm in the season of trying to believe things because it's hard to accept and believe. But I know I'll get there slowly but surely.
Definitely.
And that is... Oh, well, you know, I got to close out the podcast. I can't just...
Well, I'm going to say one thing. If y'all haven't got on Dom's podcast, get on it. Because at the end of the day, Dom, like, I'm very proud of you. No, I'm serious. I am very proud of you. You don't understand how much this is changing people's lives. Like, not even just, like, people who are just watching it, but, like, me being, like she said, it's been a while to get me on here. You know, it's been a little... But, like, being able to come on here and talk about things, like... And we've spoke about this before, but, like, you know, I have never really been able to sit with some things and actually talk in depth about it. And I don't realize, like, this is helping me as much as that this could be helping somebody else. So this is amazing that you do this, and I want you to keep doing it. Definitely. Like, it's changing people's lives, and I know it's going to change yours too. Like, you know.
You know, I've been, like I said earlier, that's why I'm doing this whole thing. Because essentially, like, at the end result, I want to be able to sit on this microphone and talk to people and tell them what I've been through. You feel what I'm saying? Because, you know, before I used to sit back and say, why am I going to podcast? I have nothing to talk about. I ain't never been through nothing. But I have been. It's just, I don't want to use the word I'm scared. I just don't know if I want to put it out there yet. And, you know, like, I don't have to put my business out there if I don't want to. You know, I can keep things closeted. But I feel like, you know, the reason I didn't want to say anything is because no one relates to what I've been through. No one knows, but that's not true. There are people out there that have gone through what I've been through, and either they went through it like 5 years ago and they still deal with it, or it happened recently with them. But there are people that I can relate to, and I need to realize that. And I'm slowly realizing that, you know, like, you are not in this fight alone. There are people that will fight with you. Like, you don't have to be a soldier by yourself. Right. You will have other soldiers with you. You feel what I'm saying? So that is something I'm learning. That is something I'm learning. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
You know, that's another one of my mottos. No, one of my other mottos, and, you know, Mally knows this, you got to go through to get through.
Oh.
You got to go through to get through. As, like, sucky as it may sound, depending on the situation, like, you really have to go through your situation to get through it.
Right.
Like, I feel like there's no other way. There's no other way. Like, you have to deal with it.
I 100% agree with that, because last year, I remember there was a time I went through something and just, I didn't want to sit with it. Like, I became very, what's the right word to say? I became very, like, I was just miserable in a way. Like, all the things that happened to me, I didn't want to sit and deal with it. So I came out, like, it's like I needed to back with finding someone to blame. Like, I just became miserable. I didn't want to, like, talk to people. I was really nasty to people just because, like, I was just angry. Just angry. When really all I needed to do was sit with it, try to understand it, and heal from it. But I just didn't want to revisit. Like, you know, you go through things and sometimes you're just like, dang, like, I don't want to sit with this. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to cry. Like, you know me, I'll be like in a feel. I'm a really sensitive person, but I hate feeling. Like, you know, I keep myself busy 24/7 so I don't have to sit in my head. But, like, you need to be able to feel. You need to be able to sit with your thoughts and, like, get through them. That's the only way you're going to get through with them. It's not just going to disappear. Right. Like, maybe the next 5 years, maybe you go through something and you're just like, I'm not going to think about it. But in the next 5 years, or at some point, it's going to pop right back up. Like, it just goes right in the back of the head. Just because it's not here, it's here. It's going to come right back up. You need to deal with it. You know? That's definitely something I had to learn, so that you're definitely correct with that.
Go through, get through, y'all. No matter how bad the situation is, you got to keep pushing. It's going to suck to push, but you got to. That's like the realization of all things. But I am glad that you finally decided to get on. See, it wasn't that bad. I told you.
I kind of want to do another one.
see, that's how you get got. I'll be trying to tell you, but no, like, I really do appreciate you for getting on. You know, I get that. You know, it took you a minute to get on, and, like, you were nervous and stuff, but you did great. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you are authentic, open, and honest. And that's what we're going for here. So I'm proud of you. So, yeah, y'all, that is it. We are going to conclude this podcast. Kiyana, once again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you guys like, love, and share to the Unfiltered Soul podcast.
Make sure you do it, or I'm coming for you.
I'm weak. Okay, Mally.
Cut.